stay at home and protect lives. That's the clear warning from the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, who says it's not a request, but an instruction.
Debido a la emergencia del coronavirus, alumnos y docentes han tenido
Hi folks, quick update from me on the campaign against coronavirus.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead.
Rallentare la diffusione del nuovo coronavirus. In
Finding faster ways to test people who may have the
virus. And it was such an incredible moment that is now taking place every Thursday at 8 p.m.
None of us can say when this will end, but end it will.
Hello and welcome to Corona Chronicles, where in the coming weeks we will attempt to touch base with a wide range of people from all walks of life to talk about how the current situation is impacting them both professionally and personally, as well as offering a cupful of cheer, some top tips and stats, and most importantly to touch virtual base with a cheery hello and without the need for hand sanitiser. I'm Nick Randall. Online quizzes between friends and family separated in lockdown couldn't be more apposite. So how lucky that an already established team, known as Interrupt the Routine, are all ready to help us with some fantastic interactive entertainment that we'll enjoy together and separately at the same time. And it's not only quizzes. These guys have produced murder mystery evenings. I don't milk it, love. Gin tasting sessions. And also the Gin Chronicles, a comedy review from a bygone age. And we have one of them on the line right now. So, Robert Blackwood, you're one half of Interrupt the Routine. Welcome to the show. Perhaps initially tell us about the origins of your services and your actual background.
Sure. So, I am an actor, and
we'll allow that.
I went off. Yeah, thank you. That's good. That's good.
We won't shoot you on site. That's fine.
So part of the challenge that a lot of actors have in knitting together all the bits and pieces that they need in order to be able to make ends meet is having the right opportunities. And it got to a stage where I wasn't getting the opportunities that I wanted to have.
Sure.
And I spoke to my friend. We sat down. He's also an actor, and we decided that the experience that we had hosting different events could be reapplied. And I was also working for about 4 or 5 other companies doing little bits and pieces, and I had become like a troubleshooter for them.
Right.
And they weren't paying me particularly well. And I thought, actually, I could do this myself, and we just need to start getting the client base together. So, yeah, that's where it all started.
Okay. Just to ask, are you a massive quiz fan yourself?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. And that
have you got a system?
When I was...
Have you got a system, like a coughing system, that you can help us to win millions?
It would, and that was interesting that came out pretty much at exactly the right time.
Yes, of course,
and was getting so much social media traction. And I remember because Michael Sheen was saying ITV even got his name wrong and called him Martin Sheen.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember being on the platform at Hammersmith Station, Hammersmith Tube Station, and doing this thing that a lot of people do when they see famous people, is that they tell them who they are.
Yeah.
And I went up to Michael Sheen and I said, "You're Martin Sheen. I love your work." And he was like, "Actually, it's Michael." And I was like, "Oh no."
I love it.
Oh,
I love it. Bless you.
Yes,
we've all been there.
No coughing system as we know.
No. And ideally, no coughing at the moment, unless you're just trying to disguise a fart or something. Or it's the other way around now. I get confused now. But I mean, this whole company that you've got is very much ahead of the curve, if indeed we can use the word curve at the moment. And there's lots of different. It's not just these quizzes. You're doing gin tasting, and there's a sort of a 1940s sketch show that you tour around the country.
Yes. So I think the thing that I have always wanted to do is I love radio, and I've always enjoyed the old. I know it's frequently referred to as the golden age of British comedy, and that with a sort of passion for the writings of people like P.G. Wodehouse and even War, led me to create a fictional world in the 1940s, and we have a fictional comedy troupe called the Misfits of London, And they are the people that performed the Gin Chronicles. And the Gin Chronicles is this vintage radio style comedy show. It's a theatrical telling. So whilst we have all the Foley, which are the live sound effects done from a sort of table full of goodies during the show, it's also very much a physical show. The actors are working really hard, and it's just a wonderful ensemble.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
it is with great pleasure that the Misfits of London welcome you to the first episode in a new series called
The Gin Chronicles. Gin for everybody. Hooray!
Each of the different things that we do are obviously also done by other people, and I've been following how people have been doing online gin tastings, and it's fantastic. It's so innovative. Yeah, so you pay your ticket, and then you get sent the box of deliciousness.
That's how it works.
And then of course there is the webinar, and they do a wonderful tasting where everyone dials in and they all drink them together and taste them, and you can have a little chat about it.
Such a great idea to have a home kit to send to people during lockdown, so this can still continue. It's wonderful.
I think that's the next thing that we're going to be doing, because I don't know how you feel about all of the interviews that you conducted and all of the sense of how things are shifting with people, but I think that there's going to be a lot of people coming out of this, both in terms of business leaders and whatnot, who are looking at this and going, there's so much that we can get done that we didn't have confidence that would get done at home, that now we can really we can look at this differently. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people. And so I really think that this is everything that we're doing will scale way beyond the end of lockdown.
You've hosted some big corporate gigs, I've noticed, from Disney, Amazon, Deutsche Bank, and many more. I mean, this is big business.
It's getting there. I think the thing that we really pride ourselves on is the quality of what we do, and frequently once we get a client on board, I think a lot of businesses, a lot of the bigger corporates, they like to try something and then they want something else. So it's really nice for us, because once we get, a client who trusts us to deliver, then they will say, right, we've had your quiz now. What next?
Yeah.
And we get everybody coming back, and they love it, and we love them, and it's joyful.
You've got so much on offer. I mean, murder mysteries, all sorts. I don't know how that would work online, but clearly within time, I'm sure you could work it out.
Well, I talked to, because with each of the wings, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get really good people to come on board and to collaborate with. And there's a lovely guy called Russell Biles who helps me with, we compile the murder mysteries. And as soon as we went into lockdown, I was on the phone to him and I said to him, so what do you think? And he said, give me some time, because the rush that is coming will bring out an awful lot of dirge, an awful lot of rubbish as well. Yeah. So let's just let that simmer down. Let all of the people that are just doing stuff for the sake of getting stuff out there, let them do that, and then let's take our time and plan this properly. But I did feel that the quizzes were that's the thing that I knew that I could turn my hand to really quickly.
People are crying out for things like that at the moment. You've got families, you've got loved ones of all description who are all separated but want to come together for Zoom calls and stuff. I mean, it's almost like you have built up this empire for this moment, this big moment.
It will feel a lot better, Nick, when all of our quizzes are jam-packed. But I mean, we had 2 over the weekend that we had over 200 people on each of them.
Wow.
On our nightly quizzes. Like the thing that really excites me is when you do a themed quiz. So we do, you've probably seen, we do at the moment, Friends, James Bond, Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
And the Harry Potter one on Friday we got so many photographs of people in fancy dress on the sort of the Facebook page, and it was wonderful, because it is exactly as you said. It's not just about a quiz. the quiz has to be good.
Yeah.
If the quiz isn't good, then there's no point.
It's got to be fun.
But after that, there's all of the bells and whistles, and people were loving it. Like, people were absolutely brilliant. And one of the photos was of Professor Snape and Madame Maxine, and they had borrowed bits of costume from people, down the road. They sort of laundered them and delivered them in sort of sealed plastic bags, and
that's
and it was brilliant.
Look, stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Where do all your questions come from? Do you just dig them all up from Google, or is there some special central computer where they all are created?
So the inner workings of my mind are rather sort of bizarre anyway. But what I try to do is, with any subject matter, I try to think about not necessarily what I like, but also what other people might like. So with the general knowledge quizzes, that's always quite useful.
Yes.
And it's really helped. I'm writing a quiz book with a friend of mine, Selena Lammy, and one of the things we were talking about is how many quizzes that we have been to are quite gender biased.
Okay.
There's quite a lot of male-dominated questions. And it's fair to say that most of the quiz masters who've hosted them are men.
Yep.
that we've seen. And I think that there's a real need within everything that we're looking at. I think there's a nice sort of societal introspection in the last couple of years that it's necessary to then say, well, everything you do, even when it's for great fun, you want to include everybody, you want to include people. And that's really important. And for example, listening to the episode, I think it was episode 5 of your Chronicles, the way that gentleman was talking about how it was so important to value all the different needs in society, and also how everybody's suffering. And it's so important to show people that they can come and get the resources that they need. And I think the same applies when people are socializing. If all you're doing is you're catering to a very noisy demographic who let you think that you're ticking all the boxes, you forget the quieter ones. And actually, it's so important to value that.
I mean, my attitude is that, I don't know much about football particularly, but I am a man. So I think it's not just about male or female. It's just that there are certain assumptions about what men are going to like and what women are going to like. And I think it's far more of a mixed bag, really.
The reason that general knowledge is quite a helpful way to go about quizzing is that if you're not segmenting into rounds, then any question can come from anywhere. And your question, it goes back to what you asked initially, is how do you get the questions and how do you write your questions? It's really good to read other people's quizzes. I have a sort of natural, I think it's a detraction from copying other people's work, because I always ask the question, can I do this differently? What is that question asking? And is there another? It's a great question. There's something in there, but can we ask something different with it? Yeah. And I think that helps me to feel like I put in the hours and I genuinely don't nick people's work.
So you're not just shuffling through Trivial Pursuits and just nabbing them all from
look, the people have given, like, it's. I mean, I do lots of gin tastings, and not enough people give me gin as presents, but plenty of people give me quiz books.
I will give you some gin.
And actually, it's really good to read through all those questions. And for example, look, let's be honest, nobody has copyright on what's the capital of Sweden.
That's hilarious.
But it's really good if you read a good question, or you read even whatever you judge to be a bit of a rubbish question. Is there a nugget in there?
Yes.
And that's what's really good. And I think that, as we were talking about earlier, now that we've got a truly global audience, I mean, we've got people on the Wednesday night general knowledge quiz from Zimbabwe and Canada and California, Azerbaijan, Sweden, Milton Keynes. So we've got people exactly. So it's really important that those people feel that they're joining for a reason.
Yes, that's a really good
point. And that they're not just getting an Anglo-centric quiz that talks about what the Archbishop of Canterbury is up to, or why there's uproar about Liverpool FC furloughing their staff and then they renege or whatever. Yeah, that's really important.
How many wives snuffed it? Henry VIII, etc.
Yeah, I did ask, and also because of the software that we've got, we can use images as well. And I tried to sort of be a bit cheeky with stuff, so I did ask what was the third wife of Henry VIII, and then I put a picture of the actress Jane Seymour, just to see if anyone would get it.
I love it. I'm sort of actually thinking of the quiz in the Office when Gareth is asking questions about the military all the time because he's totally obsessed and there's hardly any other questions for the world. Oh yeah, have you got any questions to hand, like really easy ones? Just give me a few just to see if I get. Because the thing is, I probably won't get any of them, and I'll probably cut this out. Okay. I don't know, something Doctor Who-y or sci-fi or I don't know. What have you got?
Hold on a second.
Hit me with some questions, man. Let's have some lockdown fun.
Lockdown fun. Yeah. Here we go. Hold on a minute. So let me try and.
You see, you should be accessing this. You should be accessing these from your mind.
Oh yes, I should. But the problem is, I'm not in that zone.
That's all right. Bloody actors.
Hold on a minute. We're nearly there.
1066.
Okay, nearly there.
Eating the sharples.
All of that.
Oh god, I'm going to be so awful at this.
No, you'll be fine. True or false? Burt Kwok played Sulu in the early Star Trek movies.
Absolutely not.
Thank you very much. Good. That was an easy one for you. What recurring character was he famous for?
Kato in the Pink Panther.
Yes, there we go. Okay.
Oh, I could do these.
You set yourself up. There we go. You set yourself up to be not that knowledgeable, but you're knocking these ones down.
I'm brilliant.
Okay, let's see. What title is the chief bridesmaid at a wedding given if she is married?
Isn't it matron of honour or something?
It is exactly
that.
That.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yes.
It was actually in my head.
There we go. All right, geography now.
Okay.
Mahi is the largest of which group of islands known for their tourist popularity?
Oh, Jamaica. No, not Jamaica. Wow, that's my first answer, isn't it?
Begins with S.
S. Oh, Seychelles? No.
Yeah.
Is it?
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah. What is the Japanese equivalent of the mafia known as?
Like Fu Manchu job. What were they called? Oh no, is that? That's not right. That's
not right at all.
No, but they've had they were the scorpion of the something or something.
The triads. No,
I'm probably getting into very dodgy NPC territory. What are they?
The Yakuza.
Oh well, yeah. I didn't know that at all. As in
true or false?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
True or false? Tasmanian devils are not marsupials. Tasmanian devils are not marsupials. Is that statement true or false?
I don't know. False.
Correct.
I just literally picked one of those.
Marsupials, so it's false.
It's
50-50. And that's what a lot of people. I think if you're going to ask a question that might be a little trickier, it's good to give multiple choice or good to make it a true or false.
Yes, I like multiple.
50-50.
I like multiple choice, 50-50, call a friend, or cheat. If you got your iPhone with you.
Going back to the coughing.
Absolutely.
And that's a really good point, actually, Nick. Because when we're thinking about it, a lot of the issues over sort of virtual quizzing but you can't stop people cheating.
No.
So with the software that we use, it's a countdown. So the quicker you answer, the more points you get. So even if you do say like Alexa, or you go into your search engine, then you're still not going to be as quick as the people that actually do know.
Yes.
So kind of we're hopeful that it all gets righted in the end, and the good people win.
where are we looking to find all this and the sort of prices as well?
Yes, of course. So we do two different things. We do the corporate and private quizzes for the big companies, for birthday parties, for charities. We've done quite a few schools recently. Over the weekend, I did a couple of schools and a soup kitchen as a fundraiser. And I mean, we raised over £6,000 at the weekend.
Wow,
which is great.
Good for you.
And that's really important because you've got to. It's all about giving, and I think people are in this state of mind where we are so grateful for the services that we have in this country at this time.
Yes,
and I think that there is a generosity in the people that live in Britain that is I'm sort of in awe of how good people can be, and I think that this brings out the best of quite a lot of people.
Yes, yeah.
So we've got that thing which is good for the soul.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we've got our public quizzes, and again we've created the themed quizzes and the general knowledge quiz, and people come and you pay £3 per player. And we also give money to the NHS through that. We are trying to,
and that sounds very reasonable. I was expecting you to hike your prices up, whack it all up because of lockdown. Yeah, let's notch it up a bit, lads.
Well, if you think about, if you think about how many people are out there who are curious and who love good quizzes, if we tap into that, there's enough.
Of course,
for everyone.
I'm joshing with you.
but I mean, that's what we felt that's a good price. And then with the corporate side of things,
bleed them dry.
No. I mean, we do it basically so that if you're a corporate, you get in touch, and it's £200 if you want a one-off quiz, and it goes down to, we do sort of packages as well where you can buy 3 or 4, and it goes down to £150 if you buy a packet of 4 quizzes, nice. £150 per quiz.
That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. What are the actual websites? Where do we actually look to find all this?
So for the public quizzes, www.quizsuperheroes.com, and for all corporate inquiries, it's www.interrupttheroutine.co.uk.
Oh, fabulous. And very well said as well. From an actor, of course. And on a personal level, with lockdown and, you obviously got a family, mouths to feed and all the rest of it. I mean, how is it generally going for you?
I really I'm able to do the things that I need to do now. It's simple. It's still time consuming, but that horror of the bottom dropping out of my business has now been replaced with hope.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky that my wife is an angel. And she's been incredibly supportive of what I'm doing. And I think our children being the age that they are at, 4 and 7, it means that whilst it's amazing to spend time with them, it's not crucial if a day doesn't work out quite the way you would want it, because their educational needs are not so consequential as someone who is prepping for GCSEs or A-levels. We are in a very fortunate position where it can be flexible, and also the kids are pretty cool with that.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Well, listen, Robert Blackwood, thank you so much for joining us on Chronicles, and it's lovely to hear about your online quizzes. I very much want to sign up for them now. I know I'm not completely useless at them.
Nick, I will be excited to welcome you.
Tailor one especially for me. Lots of Doctor Who, bit of Barry Trotter. What else? I don't know. I'll give you a list afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, and I'll see to it. I'll make sure it gets done, sir.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, our thanks again go to the lovely and rather giggly Robert Blackwood, bless him. And as a reminder of those websites, for all public quizzes, go to www.quizsuperheroes.com. And all corporate inquiries, go to www. I know you don't have to say that, but I'm saying it anyway because it sounds cool. www.interrupttheroutine.co.uk. for all your lockdown fantastic needs. No world news for this edition, but that returns alongside a brand new guest next week. So until then, stay home, unless you're Dominic Cummings, of course. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. I'm Mick Randall. Goodbye.
It was lovely. It's very conversational. It didn't feel, because I've done a couple of interviews where it's like, oh,
I love it.
I feel like I'm on the Today programme.
Oh my God. No, definitely nothing like that at all on this. So.